All right, hi guys. In this video, I'm going to give you an example of the three main properties that we deal with when we're dealing with our exponents. So, number one is our multiplication problem, and when we think of multiplication, we got to remember we are multiplying the base numbers and we are adding the exponents. So, like I've been doing in class, first let's organize. So my base values, I have a -4. If I wanted to put it, I have a 1. With my p's, I have a p squared and I have a p to the third. With my q's, I have a q to the -3 power and I have a q squared. And finally, with the r's, I have r to the -1 power and r to the -4 power. And here, then I'm going to go ahead and do my multiplications. So I'm multiplying numbers. It's just multiplication. -4 times 1 is -4. The p's are multiplied, so I am going to add their exponents. So 2 plus 3 is 5. The q's are multiplied. I am going to add their exponents. -3 plus 2 is -1. And the r's are multiplied. I need to add their exponents. -1 plus -4 is -5. The last thing I need to deal with then is any of the negative exponents. So the q has a negative exponent, so that means that's going to move to the other part of the fraction. It's on the top right now, so it is going to move to the bottom. Same thing with the r. It's got a -5 as its exponent, and it's on the top, so I'm going to move it to the bottom. My final answer, have -4p to the 5th power on the top in the numerator, and q r to the 5th in the denominator. The next one we have here is division. Now, with division, we are simplifying fractions and we are subtracting exponents. So let's organize here. In my base numbers, I have 4 over 10. My y's, I have y to the -1 divided by y to the first. I'm going to go ahead and put the 1 on it. My z's, I have z squared over z to the first. And then that is the only x. It's on the bottom, so I need to make sure I put it there. And now I'm going to do my division step. Now 4/10 is just a fraction. I'm going to simplify the fraction in 4/10. I can divide the numerator and denominator by 2, and I would get 2/5. The y's are being divided. I need to subtract those exponents. And I need to be careful I subtract correctly. It's -1 minus 1. And -1 minus 1 is -2. With the z's, I need to subtract their exponents. I have 2 minus 1, and that is 1. And there's really nothing to do with the x's yet. Now I need to go ahead and I need to move things where they're supposed to be. Now the 2 is going to be in my numerator. The 5 is going to be in my denominator. I know that. The y right now has a negative exponent and it's on the top in the numerator, so I need to move it down to the denominator. Z is fine where it's at, so leave it on the top. And notice this x has a negative exponent, but the x is in the denominator. Therefore, I'm going to move it up to the numerator. And that would give me my final answer. The last type that we have is just the power property. And with the power property, we are multiplying exponents. So notice I have a monomial inside of here, and the whole thing is raised to the 3rd power. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take every single exponent. So 3 to the first, p to the first, m to the fourth, n to the negative third, and I'm going to multiply each of those exponents by that negative 3. So for the 3, 1 times 3 is 3. For the p, 1 times 3 is 3. For the m, 4 times 3 is 12. And for the n, negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Now I need to go ahead and take care of 3 to the third power. That is 27. And my n has a negative exponent, so I'm going to move it down. Okay, leave the p to the third and the m to the 12th in the numerator where they're supposed to be. And that would be my final answer.